Production funding for Making It Up North is provided by the citizens of Minnesota through the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.
Our mainstay food is really, truly goes back to the old country. And it's homemade, and it's fresh ingredients, and it's really, really tasty.
I thought it would be like you walk into a store and they say, yeah, this is great, let's put it on the shelves. But it's really a 3 to 6 month process to enter a market. If you got a good product, you're gonna be fine.
I love pho ever since I was little.
It's pho-holic. They're kind of addicted to it.
Restaurant is not an easy thing to do, but then we learn every day. Now we're like excited every day. We go to work, we're like happy. We're like, yes. Yeah, the soup is our signature here at the restaurant. The soup we cook every day is 50 pounds of beef bone, and then we boil them 24 hours to get the broth that we need. Yeah, so like you see in the back, we sell at least 3 big pots every day. I want to eat. I love pho ever since I was little, and then we traveled back to Vietnam. And then my husband's family own a pho place in Vietnam, and I get the recipe from them in Vietnam. So I brought it here because I want to make it so close to what it is in our country. Pho is really popular in Vietnam. Like every family would know pho. Everyone would love pho. It's gonna be a very special broth that you have to give it to your customer. It's not just what you cook at home. And I got that. We have it here, so. I have an older sister, and she goes to college, she's perfect. And then me, I'm always the trouble. I have kids when I was 15. So I'm always trouble. I drop out of school and everything, freshman. And I have kids, I have to go to the teen high school. I learned in a hard way, so I don't want my kid to be like me, I guess. So I say, no, this is not. So I start to take a GED, and then I go to cosmetology school. I came here to open a nail salon. We have 2 businesses here, and I have one in Duluth and one in Superior. And I opened a nail salon for 15 years. So we came to Duluth, and it's a perfect town. It's small enough, but it's not too small. So I raised my kid here. And then we opened a salon, and everything worked out good, everything, and I thought I need more. I need something like more challenge.
Number 11 is my favorite. It's a thin sliced beef, and it gets cooked by the broth. It's very, what's the word for it? Fresh. Hello, how are we doing today, guys? How are you? Good.
But a restaurant is more like family. It's more like family bonding thing. To me, I think like that. My parents escaped from Vietnam to here when my sister and my brother are like really young. And so she started working in a restaurant. She started going to a restaurant. She learned a lot in a restaurant. So she always, I guess all her life is tied up in a restaurant business. So that's all she do. She just cook. She just go home and she cook and that's all she do. And then she ended up opening her own restaurant. when I get stuck or something, I always say, how did my mom do this? How did she figure this out? I guess it's just her own experience that she worked. And then I think it's in her blood. She knows exactly, you know. So it's very helpful. She's quick. If you slow, she push you all the way. I got pushed out a couple of times. She just get out of my way and she just do it her own. Yeah. So we put the shrimp first. So then after we rolled it, it's gonna show the shrimp. It look pretty that way. So I put the shrimp down, okay, and then lettuce on top, and then noodle, and then the pork. So when you roll the spring roll, you gotta roll it tight. You gotta make it tight. This one. There's two. And then we're gonna get the sauce, okay? And there you go. You got the spring roll. Today we make spring roll. The spring roll is really popular. Not just Vietnamese have spring roll, but Thai, they have spring roll also. But their spring roll a little bit different than our spring roll. They have peanut sauce, and we use hoisin sauce. The sauce is the main thing, because when you dip into the sauce and you bite it in, the sauce will give it more taste to it.
This is a spring rolls for you. You're welcome.
And now my kids are older, and they do not want to go work for anybody else. For some reason, I don't know. They just don't. So my husband is like, open a restaurant, and then the boys can help you.
I serve and I host, and I do miscellaneous things around here. But it's pretty laid back. Everyone here is hard working, so it makes it a lot easier for everyone else.
So basically, every time I open the restaurant, it's just me and the boys. My husband didn't even do anything. He don't know anything. He came out to eat, but that's it. That's it. He don't know. So it's a very it's a challenge, and I think it's something that my boys and I can learn together. It's perfect.
We don't have to eat all of them, do we? So these were really the balls that inspired the whole thing. You know, this is the kind of food that my mom made. And I go to the grocery store and want some vegetarian food. I couldn't get the food I wanted. I thought about my mom's recipes, and I thought, I'm not the only one.
This is the Doris Bacon's original recipe. All of these ingredients are all natural ingredients that most people would have in their own house. We do small batches, they're 100-pound batches that we mix up at one time. These are breadcrumbs, onions, cheese. I think it's the fact that we just make it right away, bake it, and freeze it up right away.
Yeah, freezing is a really great way to deliver food that's ready to prepare, just because you don't need to use any preservatives or any other additives. It's ready to go. What I'm going to do is just heat up some egg noodles and some frozen peas, just like anybody would at home. And then this is just some of those plain balls in a brown gravy. A lot of people don't realize there have been waves of vegetarianism. Like Ben Franklin was vegetarian for a while. And there was a vegetarian movement in the 20s that got fairly popular. And then it faded out, in the 30s. It's back with a roar now. But our food really isn't meant to be catchy for a wave or a trend. It's really for traditional vegetarians. But we know that flexitarians are going to really like it. Well, this is a typical lunch that my mom would have made, and it's just some egg noodles, and it's Ruth's vegetarian balls in a brown gravy with some mushrooms and just some peas. Very simple, Minnesota type farm, meal. This is the table. This is the kitchen that my mom used to make this food in. And so, it's a really great feeling for me to be able to carry on her recipes from when I was a little boy till now, and now they're going to go out across America. So, pretty fun. I'm 63, and I was probably 10 or 12 the first time I ate this particular recipe. Yeah, these are old school family recipes that my mom cooked and her friends cooked. Grew up in a church that had a philosophy of balancing life through good health, healthy eating, exercise, work, spend time outdoors, family, God, nature, right? So it's there's history here. This isn't new. We're not trying to reinvent anything. We're just packaging it so that it's easy at home to thought, eat it, eat it. It's kind of Minnesota taste, isn't it? And like I said, I go to the grocery store and I couldn't get what I wanted to buy for vegetarian food. I've tried all the stuff. There's some pretty good stuff, but I didn't feel like it measured up to the standard of what my mom made. We did a lot of taste testing. I can tell you we did, for example, 4,000 samples at Grandma's Marathon. The no take was 12 people out of 4,000. And that was those sweet and tangy, the barbecue balls. I knew we had the taste, the texture, the content, the simplicity that people want. So now we're ready to launch. We're ready to go.
We're not a huge corporation at this time or anything. We're just small, and there is a small group of us that make this product, yes. At one point, we had like 800 pounds a day that we were working on. Right now, we have a smaller crew, and we're working on like 700 pounds a week. Well, we're trying to have enough so we can have our orders already pre-filled. So if orders come in, it's all ready to go. This is Sherry, and she is making our sweet and tangy barbecue sauce that we put on our veggie balls. This is a homemade sauce that Doris Ruth made. We make it in smaller batches and sauce all the balls by hand.
Yeah, we have 3 people that work here in the kitchen that do the testing, that make the food up, make sure it goes through the equipment properly, etc. Do the quality control testing. We have migrated in the past. So we have a panel now, including myself, that gives the final sign-off. Because rule number 1, it's got to taste good. Otherwise, people won't buy it again, so. We're very, very confident that people will buy this again, and where we're known, like in Two Harbors, it goes off the shelf really, really well. So that's the next step, is we have to launch all the marketing and the advertising on a much broader scale, and then ramp it up. So this is my last baby, right? I'm 63 now, so this will take a lot of time to build, but it's really exciting on so many levels. It's family, it's community, it's giving back, it's great product. It's like, for me, by far the most exciting thing I've done, and a lot of people are excited about it.
Oh, it's her chicken.
Oh, that's the chicken. I make that one.
Yeah.
With the bacon on it?
And this is arrabbiata. I told my mom, I said, you guys say it wrong. This is a cookbook we did as a family project in 2000.
It doesn't have our restaurant
No.
recipes in there.
No, it doesn't. It's called La Cucina della Razza di Chiori, which means the kitchen of the race of the curly heads.
So in here I got onions, peppers, and our homemade Italian sausage.
My name is Carol Valentini. I'm the owner of Valentini's Vicino Lago, a restaurant on London Road, and soon to be the Italian bistro up in Hermantown. Paul and I both come from very large families, born in Chisholm.
Our moms are sisters.
All right, yeah, our moms are sisters. There's the connection. And you have 7 and we have 8 in our family. My grandmother, Justina, she came to this country and started Valentini's in 1934 with her husband, Louis, and their cook, Mario. The 3 of them started Valentini's. They called it the City Cafe. I mean, there were no child labor laws back then. I mean, we made meatballs by hand, and we made ravioli balls, and we did all of that with her.
Robert would draft me into working there, so when it was time to make meatballs and stuff like that, I would come down and help him. Of course, we never got paid, but we got to eat meatballs, so it was well worth it.
I think we've been blessed in that environment, growing up like that, and understanding how to cook and the value of gathering people together and what that means.
I'm Andy Ritz. I'm the chef at Valentini's Bistro, and I will be making a sausage and peppers penne and a mega meatball, which are 2 of our mainstays at the restaurant.
I had several careers, actually. I went to school. I'm a medical laboratory technologist. That's what I did for about 12 years. My sons, who had a lot of friends who spent all their time in my house and in my kitchen, once they all went to college, they all left me, and I thought, well, no, I'll just open up a restaurant, and that's what I did. I think the greatest challenge in the restaurant business nowadays is it's such a labor-intensive industry, and finding staff to work for you and to perform the way you need them to perform it requires a lot of training and time and getting the right personalities, and once that happens, it's great.
Now back at the sausage and peppers. Got a good searing it up now. Throw some garlic in there. Now we can see that a lot of the garlic and the sugars from the peppers are creating a lot of color in the pan. And we'll add our seasoning, which is our Shake-On. This is our sugo here, which is our red sauce. Over here is our mega meatball stuffed with mozzarella cheese.
We don't cook with measuring cups and spoons. We cook by feel. I mean, cooking is an art.
What separates our food, I think, from some of the bigger places is our stuff is homemade. We make it there. We don't cut open packages and heat it up when you come in. They're made, we prep them during the day, we serve them at night.
People want that. People want value, they want good quality food, and that's what we pride ourselves in. We're family owned. We treat everybody like the family when you come in. In my restaurant, the word no does not exist. If you can physically do something someone has asked you to do, you do everything you can to, make that happen. We are competing with your big corporate places that have marketing dollars and buying power. And that's why it's so difficult nowadays for independents to survive.
Doing a startup, you got to make sure you get it right. Even if you have 2, 3, 4 restaurants, when you start a new one, it's almost like you're doing it from scratch again. And even though you know the pitfalls, they're still there.
I want to see Duluth maintain its uniqueness. I don't want to see Pleasantville happen here. I don't want you to go to Brainerd or St. Cloud or Rochester and find the exact same things as you find in Duluth. Paul, what's your challenge today?
My challenge is just trying to keep up with Carol.
That's true.
That's one of my challenges.
I view a restaurant as more of a gathering place where people can leave their differences outside. Come on in, sit down, have a glass of wine, talk to each other, have a good meal, and I want you to feel better when you leave than when you came in. Being a family-owned restaurant has definite pros and cons, but I think there's more pros. I wouldn't do it any other way. Because we're Italian, I think. I don't know why. I'm not ready to retire. I like to start things. I'm not going to sit by and let things happen to me. I make things happen.
You just can't give up. You just can't, even when you want to. You've got to have faith. You've got to believe in it. You got to have good people around you.
I think I'm pretty easy.
She's a good boss. She's a good boss.
If you work, then, you know, and you're going to be successful. Work hard. Just, you know, just like when you go to school. I mean, you don't have to be smart, but just work hard.
Well, I think competition makes you better, but collaboration sustains you. There's no way you can survive unless you work together with people.